Hello and welcome to the Gold Key Release Masterclass. I'm Lawrence Gold, developer of the Gold Key Release. Today's masterclass I'm conducting as a conversation. The chat box is open so that you can pass me questions or comments, which I can answer during our masterclass time today. The purpose of the Gold Key Release Masterclass is to get you acquainted and clear about what you can do with the Gold Key Release. 4 obvious categories of improvement that come from the Gold Key Release are rapid dissipation of stress patterns, including long-standing stress patterns, lengthening of attention span, clarity of thought, and the enhancement of creative ingenuity. We're going to cover how the Gold Key Release does that and how it's different from other de-stress approaches. As we go through the time here, I'll be checking the chat for your comments and responding accordingly. To start, the Gold Key Release is a process that uses word combinations to trigger or stir up hidden subconscious material contributing to stress. The way it works is you listen to the words, let them stir up whatever they stir up in you, get the meaning and the feeling of it, and then relax and be ready for the next step. It's that simple. There's no conversation, no disclosure of personal information. The Gold Key Release works on the basis of the 4 core muscles of intelligence, which are attention, intention, memory, and imagination. Those 4 operate together at every instant to give us our experience of life and of our faculties of intelligence. The Gold Key Release clears the way for the improvements I named earlier. So, for example, to de-stress, the Gold Key Release brings up whatever beliefs and attitudes you have for your own viewing, and it's sufficient in that viewing for you to release the stress effort behind them. So it involves a progressive de-stressing through the Gold Key Release. Attention span is increased as the distractions of habituated patterns of tension dissipate. The emotional calm that results is the natural state when this other noise of the being is silenced, and it's silenced again by a moment of relaxation. With that happening, mental clarity occurs. There's a silence of the mind, or there is a stillness in the person within which thinking can occur without interference from distorting stress patterns. When that happens, the force of memory subsides and the force of imagination rises to the surface. With that, ingenious solutions to problems arise spontaneously, generally very soon after completion of the Gold Key Release, without any special effort to seek for them. Often they occur when we're not looking, that is, when we're doing something else. So those 4 benefits are easily identifiable. They're blatantly obvious from practice of the Gold Key Release. Okay, so here are some basic guidelines. This gives you something of the spirit of the Gold Key Release, which is a spirit of leisure. The Gold Key Release doesn't proceed by cultivating desirable traits, but by clearing the way for our natural faculties to emerge. In the process of the Gold Key Release, as you hear the word combinations that stimulate self-awareness, and those surface, it's important to accept whatever comes up without evaluating for correctness. Also, it's important to refrain from attempting to dig deeper for more information. Both of those considerations, digging deeper and evaluating for correctness, are handled by the structure of the gold key release. I'm going to take a moment now and share with you the experience of someone who has gone through the gold key release with me so that you get a different viewpoint.
Hi, this is my first Zoom clip, so yay! I'm here to share my experience that I had with Lawrence Gold, doing actually two sessions with him. The first one, he did a process called the Gold Key Method, and it's very safe. You don't even have to tell him really what you're working on. He just asks you to think about what you'd like to work on. And he goes through a process that really gets down to the nitty-gritty of what is holding you back in a situation, if that's what you're looking at. And I got down to a situation when I was 11 years old that's affected my entire life. And I'm now 69. Long time. And I had dealt with it many times with other modalities and other trainers, and I've been trained in many things and worked on myself. And this seemed to clear up the situation and really got down to the crux of what it was. And it was a little different than what I thought it was. So it unveiled some things that I wasn't aware of and really cleaned it up. So yesterday I had a session and he did something called the middle way memory matrix. Not easy for me to say, but how I would describe this is binaural NLP, for lack of a better. I thought all morning, how would I describe this? And it's kind of like he takes two things that I was working on, or wanted to work on, or wanted to resolve, so I could get to the next place I needed to go in my business and my life. And he just used those two words and then did a few other words that went along with it, and just really cleared stuff up with it, not me even recognizing it. I told him I wanted to sit on it for a day before I really gave him any great feedback. And so this was my feedback, is that today I see the world in a whole different perspective. It's much wider. It's much bigger. It's much brighter. There's more possibilities that I see. And I also realize that things can be laborious, that I don't have to suffer with it. It's like I go through the motions of doing what I have to do, and no suffering needed. So I really am excited about moving forward. I do believe that a lot of things got cleared up yesterday almost without me knowing it. So thank you, Lawrence. If you get a chance to work with Lawrence, or if he offers a session, kind of a, what would I call it, appetizer, I would say definitely go for it. You will not be sorry. It will, it's clean, it's clear, it's fast, it's effective, and I'm really grateful for Lawrence and the work that he does. That's it. Thank you for listening.
Okay. It seems pretty straightforward, doesn't it? Typically, when a person goes through the gold key release, they identify an item that bothers them in life, or an undesirable reaction to something in life. So it can be a situation, or it can be a reaction. In either case, the person then gives a name to it, generally of very few syllables. And then as we go through the gold key release, they insert the name of their item at the places indicated by the instructions that are embedded in the gold key release. As they do that, what they're effectively doing is clearing themselves up of stress patterns. So you see, I'm just leading. The real change occurs from what you do in the midst of a gold key release. At the end of each cycle, You're asked, is it more, less, the same, or gone? Sometimes it is more. The reason it's more is because the gold key release peels off layers of unconscious resistance or habitual resistance associated with the item that they've chosen. When that happens, the item surfaces more and it seems to be more intense. Of course, what it is simply they're seeing themselves in a way they hadn't seen themselves before. And with that, they're capable of making changes spontaneously, generally, as soon as they recognize that what they are doing at each appropriate step is actually self-inflicted stress. So each step involves surfacing whatever's there, and then a spontaneous release of stress until we get to the end, at which point you're checked. That is, I ask, is it more, less, the same, or gone? So I explained how it can be more. How it can be less is that because we're peeling off layers of unconsciousness, sometimes it takes more than one pass through. In that case, the sensation of the item will be less each time they complete. So that's more, less. The same often has to do with a kind of a pessimism that the person carries with them. And they're not really sensing their condition. They're really going by their memory of how it used to be. It's kind of like the counter to the saying in investment companies where they say past results are no guarantee of future performance. But these people believe that the past is an indication of future performance. And in that case, they're not really perceiving themselves clearly. However, that kind of adaptation, that kind of mental habit is also dissipated by the gold key release, so that subsequent passes through, things begin to change. And of course, the gone step is what we're after. And what constitutes a good outcome for the gold key release is that the item that they've been working on has been so discharged or released that they have trouble remembering what it was. On the note of creative spontaneity, that's the function of imagination. Imagination is related closely to memory. In order to memorize something, we typically imagine it repeatedly to ourselves. That's how incoming information becomes memory. It's either the repetition or sufficient intensity to make a memory impression. Now, in order to remember something, generally what we do is intend to imagine the things. So if you were to say, where are my car keys? You immediately imagine your car keys and then intend to recall where it was. So you're using imagination to trigger memory. Another way those two are related is if a person's memory is too intense, it drowns out imagination. It stifles imagination, squashes it. And that's why when a person is under stress, which is generally based on memories about the situation that they're experiencing, that stress drowns out creative imagination. They're no longer resourceful because the intensity of the stress drowns it out. Now, what the gold key release does is it dissipates the intensity of memories. It lightens the load. Memory gets lighter and lighter and allows imagination to come forward. Since we have the intention to make a change in the situation, that primes us for the emergence of something. Usually it's what's on our memory. We try to dredge through our memory for solutions or to think about it, which generally amounts to a rehash of their past experience. But when memory subsides and imagination is freed of the burden, things emerge spontaneously, generally ingenious feeling ideas that feel like they actually could work. They seem like good ideas. And when applied, they generally work out quite well. Let's focus a little bit more on recovering emotional comfort. This is, of course, appropriate to consider in terms of when we're experiencing high stress or overwhelm. Those are inherently negative or stressful emotional situations. When the person is relieved of the burden of the associated memories, the memories they have associated with that item or similar ones, the emotional load comes off. They start to feel calmer and calmer, more and more comfortable as the gold key release proceeds. Very often, without the person's recognizing it until they finish the gold key release and they check for, is it more, less, the same, or gone? And they realize it's not there, or it's not anywhere near as intense as it used to be. And again, if it's somewhat there, it calls for another cycle through the gold key release, because a good outcome is the relief is so complete that the person has trouble remembering what the issue was. It seems to have, if anything, the density of smoke. So we've covered clarity of mind, creative ingenuity, stress. What is it? Stress, clarity of mind, emotional state, and ingenuity. So those are the four obvious front-end benefits of doing the gold key release. Now, at this stage, I've said a bunch of things, and I expect they will have triggered certain ideas, beliefs, preconceived notions, reactions in you, having heard all that. This is very useful because now we can use those as a topic to experience the gold key release. In this case, what you would do is give a name to whatever this presentation has brought up in you, generally very few syllables, because you're going to be using that name throughout the gold key release. So take a few moments now, identify what you're feeling from having heard so far, give it a name. I'm going to allow some time for you to do that. And then we'll begin the gold key release. And since I won't know the name you've assigned to your topic, I'm going to substitute the term your item. Whenever you hear your item in the gold key release, it's a signal for you to substitute the name you gave to your item. And again, to restate, don't make any effort to dredge for deeper meaning, and listen to whatever comes up without evaluating it for correctness. Take just as it comes up. We begin. Your item, feeling, your item, Notice where you feel it in you, your item. Feel the shape of its intensity, your item. Listen. Feel the intensity of identifying your item, Feel the intensity of its intensity, your item. Intending, your item. Intending, your item. Intending, refusing, refusing, your item. Refusing, your item. It matters. Your item doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Your item matters. It matters. Feel how it mattering involves you. Feel how it mattering involves others. It's true. It's true. Untrue. 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 It's true. Untrue. Untrue. It's true. It's true. Remembering. Remembering. It's true. It's true. Remembering. Remembering your item. It's true. Remembering. Remembering. Untrue. Untrue. Remembering. Remembering your item. Untrue. Remembering your item. It's true. Remembering your item. Untrue. Allow how remembering involves imagining. Stop imagining. Let it dissolve and dissipate. Notice you are a form of awareness. Is it more, less, the same, or gone? Your item. If it's gone, it's finished. Otherwise, take what's left. Feel having it. Notice where you feel it in you. Your item. Your item. Feel the shape of its intensity. Your item. Listen. Listen. Feel the intensity of identifying your item. Your item. Feel the intensity of its intensity. Your item. Refusing your item. Refusing your item. Refusing. Intending. Intending. Intending your item. Intending your item. Your item. Your item doesn't matter. Your item. Your item matters. It matters. Your item doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Feel how it doesn't matter involves you. Feel how it doesn't matter involves others. Untrue. Untrue. It's true. It's true. It's true. Untrue. It's true. It's true. Untrue. Untrue. Remembering. Remembering. Untrue. Untrue. remembering, remembering your item, untrue, remembering, remembering, it's true, it's true, remembering, remembering your item, it's true, remembering your item, untrue, remembering your item, it's true. Allow how remembering involves imagining, 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 intending, imagining, imagining your item, intending, imagining, intending, your item, your item, your item, imagining, remembering, imagining your item, remembering, imagining, remembering, your item, imagining, attending, imagining, attending, your item, imagining, imagining your item, Stop imagining. Stop stopping. Let it dissolve and dissipate. Notice you are a form of awareness. Is it more, less, the same, or gone? If it's gone, it's finished. Otherwise, you would take what's left, feel having it, and begin again. The gold key release. So that's what I have for today. There will be a new training starting on Wednesday, June 11th, noontime, with a second session, not a replay, but a second session the following Sunday at noon. It's a 5-week course, so there are 10 live sessions, plus each week you will have access to the recorded instructions for the gold key release to choose an item of special interest to you to work on by yourself. That gives you your sea legs. It gives you confidence to practice like this. And then should you run into anything unexpected, you can bring it up as a question during our live sessions.